Good morning, everyone. My name is Lindsy Stumpenhorst, and I'm going to talk to you for a quick minute, well, 5 exactly, about demonstrating what's possible at your school with your staff, your students, and your families. I'm a 3rd through 5th grade principal at Washington Elementary School in Sterling, Illinois, and those are my 2 kiddos. They actually come to school with me in the morning, and I'm going to start off by telling you a story about my son. For his first birthday as a new mom, I anticipated it being a Pinterest-worthy event. And my plan was to make the invitations myself, and they were going to be awesome. So I used my Canon Rebel, and anyone that knows a Canon Rebel knows that with this sort of camera, even I can look like a professional photographer. And so we started to walk out to the backyard of my house, and I live in rural Illinois. And there's this tall, grassy area. And I thought this would be a perfect photographic background for his picture, for his party invitation. So I'm walking out, and my son's a new walker. He doesn't follow me. When we get to the edge of the tall grass, he doesn't follow me. I'm like, hurry up. I don't have time for this. I'm a working mom. I gotta make this perfect. I pick him up, and I start to carry him. To which he throws the most epic fit of all time. I'm talking laying on the ground. This is my daughter, by the way. Laying on the ground, kicking, crying, screaming. He doesn't want me to pick him up. He doesn't want me to pick him up. He won't walk himself through the tall grass. What am I left to do to get this perfect picture? So these are my mucking boots. I start stomping the grass down. It's my last resort. Maybe he'll follow me if there's not an obstacle in his path. Sure enough, he does. And this is the result. I know he's so cute. This is the result of his first birthday invitation. It worked. So I told you before that I was Washington Elementary School's principal. I've only been at this school for 3 years. That's my staff. They're an incredible group of people. When I got to Washington School, they were really good at what they did, but there was something holding them back from being great. I want you to think for a second, and just a second, what's holding your staff back from being great? I know what was holding Washington School staff back. Fear. Fear of unknown. Fear of being vulnerable. Fear of making a mistake, and fear of failure. It's the same thing that held my son back from walking through the tall grass. He was afraid of what would happen. Now, there are 2 ways that I combat fear at Washington School in my 3 years there, my 3 very short years. The first one is to be vulnerable. Yes, that's me, inside the penguin costume. I'm not afraid to make a fool of myself, obviously. And also, model. That's also me. Modeling my expectations and my hope and my commitment to push fear aside and not be afraid to make a mistake. And so there are 2 areas that we started to work on right away. The first was sharing our story through social media. Washington School had no Facebook account, no Twitter hashtag, nothing. So I started it. I started doing the work. I can tell you, in my 3rd year now, half of my staff have a classroom Facebook page so they can communicate with their families and meet their families where they're at. Also, technology. They had devices, but they weren't using them. And so first, I modeled for them, and I pushed fear aside. And to be honest, the first person that taught me how to code was a 3rd grader. Now, we have embedded coding into our curriculum. And so it's a seamless transition. I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to be vulnerable with your staff. I want to challenge you to model the expectations that you hold for them. If I can't do it, I can't expect my staff to do it. I know you've heard walk the walk, but instead of walk the walk, I want you to stomp down the grass and pave the way for your teachers.